Hey guys, welcome back to Mediocre Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be thinking and talking about digital products from Games Workshop, how they've changed in the last little while, why I think they're going to be super important moving forward, why I have been kind of thinking about them and pondering about them for the last couple of weeks, and just kind of delving into that a little bit because I think there's some things we definitely need to talk about and some things that Games Workshop definitely need to change, and I'd love to kind of get some kind of discourse going in the comments and figure out what we think about that moving forward. Now, like I said, this is not going to be, I hate Games Workshop and everything is crap and be mean and just talk spitefully. That's not really my style. I'm not really a hateful person. I'm not really a person that dwells in the negative side of the hobby. And I want this to be like constructive and kind of as positive as we possibly can make it. Before I get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone there who continues to support the channels in all the myriad of ways it is possible to do so. Liking videos, commenting on them if you have any questions, and making sure you subscribe to all three channels. We do have three. Make sure you check them all out. And anyone out there who goes the extra mile and supports over on Patreon, you guys are amazing. You guys keep the lights on and the cameras rolling, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Obviously, we do 1,000,001 things for you guys. We give you extra videos, podcast episodes, private Discord server, and monthly giveaways. So if you want to be involved with that, all you need to do is check out the Patreon, linked down in the description below. So without further ado, let's dive in and start talking through these points about digital content. Okay, so what has me thinking about digital media? Well, I recently had a lads weekend away playing Warhammer 40,000. We Airbnb'd an entire house. There was 6 of us, and we brought down 3 gaming tables, full whack of scenery, and we just played games for 2 or 3 days. Lots of alcohol, lots of good food, good chats, a few board games in the evenings. It was a really good time. But obviously the main thing for us was to go away and play some games of Warhammer, get our heads around 11th edition. So that's what we focused on. We all brought down Warhammer 40,000 armies. I brought down my Imperial Fists. And for the entire time, the entire kind of 5-6 games, the entire kind of 2.5 days of gaming, I didn't open a single physical book once. I brought my army book, my codex, my rule book, all that stuff. Brought the cards for setting up terrain and, you know, for doing secondary objectives and all that kind of stuff. And it was all completely useless. There was no need for any single part of it because the app had it all in it, every single thing. My entire army list was written down in it. Even after you've written your army list and put it all into things, there's a little button you hit up in the top right and it basically goes to like battle mode, and that's what you use to play your games of Warhammer 40k. It has your entire army list. You click on each unit as you're activating or using it, and it shows you their movement and all their stats and the unit's special rules and abilities, which I tend to forget a lot because every single unit entry in all of Warhammer 40,000 has a special ability. That's a lot of things to keep track of, and I do tend to forget them. So having it there right in my face every single turn is pretty amazing. And then obviously on the fly, you can just make changes and stuff. If you want to go from game to next game, you're like, you know what, I'm actually going to try these units out, so I'm going to drop these and add these in. And obviously it tallies up your points for you to make sure it's all fair and balanced and everything like that. Also, in that kind of battle mode, it's not just your army list. You scroll down and it has your kind of stratagems. It has your, you know, your unit special, your army special rules, and just everything you need to know is right there in the screen that you can keep checking back on. Even small little things, which I keep forgetting about, is like what different effects do. It's like, oh, this unit now gets lethal hits. And then the lethal hits option will be kind of highlighted. You just press on that and it goes, lethal hits does this. Like, oh, that's really cool. That really helps me out. Also having the rule book entirely on that app as well. So if you guys get stuck in the middle of a game, you just go, okay, rules section. Then it has it broken down by all the different sections. Are you having basically a rules query in the movement phase? Cool, click on the movement phase. What are you struggling with? You know, original moving, advancing, moving through cover, how you engage with this, that, and the other. Oh, I'm struggling with this, but cool, there's that. Here's how it works and everything like that. Makes it super handy and super easy for me to kind of do everything. And the fact that I can then take that thing and bring it into an extra part of the app, which allows you to track your Warhammer 40,000 games. So I literally just go, okay, I'm about to play a game with my friend. He also hits the same thing. You generate a code on your phone, you give it to your friend, then those two phones are talking to each other. They generate everything. You select which army from your lists you want to use, click, he does the same. They both pop up on each other's screen. You can check your opponent's army, what they've got, what equipment they have, the special rules they have, so no one can do any sneakiness, try and get one up on you, maybe a little bit of cheating. Hopefully you don't have friends groups that will do that, but it's nice to know that you can check on it in tournaments and stuff. Obviously, you then generate what mission you're playing, the map setup, all of that is on the screen, where the buildings are all supposed to be placed, where all the terrain is supposed to be placed, what your objectives are going to be, what your secondary objectives are going to be, and then it goes turn by turn. Okay, this is the end of the first turn. which objectives did you secure? This one, how many command points did you use? This one, your opponent did this and this. Here's your score. Cool, goes to the second turn. So you do absolutely everything from the app. It made the entire weekend super seamless, super easy, and just, I loved it. So after I had that kind of weekend away and I had that kind of experience with the app, which is something I've never had before, I have literally been thinking about it now. So this was like 3 weeks ago now, and I've just been pondering digital content and what that means moving forward. Okay, what would I like to see moving forward? Well, I would love to see that 40K style app done for every single game system that Games Workshop does, whether it's Middle-earth, whether it's Necromunda, whether it's Blood Bowl. Keep an eye on your rosters or your teams or your warbands, all inside apps, I think would be absolutely fantastic. I also think that it should be you should have access to all the information. I'm getting to get to a bit later on. We talk about whether it should be costed or free or whatnot. But assuming now that these apps have all the information on it, like right now, my friend group has been pondering the concept of doing some Necromunda. It seems like a simple enough game to play, maybe, but it's obviously got a lot of depth in the rules. Setting up gangs can be quite kind of difficult. What kind of style of system you want to play in Necromunda, whether you want to play Ash Waste or the normal Necromunda game. All of these things are great questions, but it's questions we don't have the answers to. And if you're telling me that I have to spend, a couple $100 on books and, additional things depending on what gang you're going to play on and all that kind of stuff, to read through all that to figure out whether this is a game system for us, seems a little bit counterintuitive. And it seems like you're going to be losing a huge kind of portion of your potential customer base by having that barrier to entry. Whereas if I could just sit down in the evening and go, I wonder what Necromunda is like. Let me click on the Necromunda page on my app. Okay, cool. Here's the basic rules. Let's have a read through those. Okay, those basic rules sound good. That's how you move. That's how you shoot. These are how actions work. How you open door, climb up and down, take wounds, damage rolls, all that kind of stuff. That's simple enough. A couple of pages. Okay, I'm kind of interested. Let's see what gangs they have. You click on the next part and it has a list of all the different gangs. And each one of them has kind of artwork pictures of what the gang looks like, and then a little page description on what they're like, why they fight, how they fight, their general aesthetic, all that kind of stuff. From that, you pick which one you like. You go, okay, that one looks kind of cool. I like the idea of Goliath. Interesting. Let's build a gang from that to see what it's like. Click on that. Your list pops up. All the information is there. You must have a leader. Okay, I want this guy to be my leader. This is the equipment that a leader can have. You can click on and check what all that equipment does. Cool. Yeah, these are the kind of gangers that you can have. A couple of special guys, a heavy guy, whatever. Cool, I build that all in. And before you know it, the app has explained to you how to build a full roster for Necromunda, without any headaches, without ever going to a physical book and being like, how to build a gang. Read through is this legal? Is this not legal? And you just don't know. You could build a list and you could bring it to somebody who plays Necromunda, show it to them, and they'd be like, this is all wrong and you can't do it. The app alleviates that fear. You could create that list, buy that gang, bring it to an event, know that that is a legal thing, have the rules to hand, have all the abilities on your app, and just start playing games. And I think that would be a much better way of having people explore the different game systems inside of Games Workshop. I just think it's the way of the future. Harking back to the bit where I said the lore and the artwork at the front, obviously if there's no more physical books, then we would lose things like lore and kind of some of the art stuff. I don't think you have to lose that. I think you can definitely incorporate that into the apps and into the stories. For instance, I personally love audiobooks. I love them so much. I think they're so good, especially for us in the hobby who tend to have a lot of time where we're, sitting down building and painting, where we may not have the capacity to watch a movie or watch a TV show because we're focused on what we're doing. We can have an awesome story going in the background. And I think that would be an incredible way of having the lore be on the app too. If you like the Goliath or you like Necromunda, you want to know about the lore. The entire lore section of the rulebook or each of those army books is in the app built in as audio files that you can literally click on, and it will then read the story out to you in awesome kind of Goliath, bodybuilder style voices, or you can go to the Escher and have that kind of predatory kind of feminine voices reading out the cool stories about what they do and what they're like, and obviously share artwork on the screen and all the way through the app just to keep those kind of people employed and keep sharing those cool art prints and art designs with us on the app, I think will be super important. Another thing which I think would be really cool to include in these apps is a collector's area. And for that, I mean, I would wish there was a bit where if I was like Space Marines, and then every Space Marine that's currently available is there, and you can click on, I have that one, I have that one, I have that. If you're someone who likes to go through and collect things, which I definitely do, I would say it's my main kind of focus when I'm doing hobby is collecting. And then you could even have it as like a legend section where it's like all the things we don't sell anymore, but they're the models. You can click on the ones and kind of go through and collect them. I don't think Games Workshop will ever really do that, because that would encourage people to go away and purchase models, you know, secondhand on eBay and stuff, which obviously money out of their pocket. But I think it would be a super cool little extra add-on that I don't think we'll ever see, but I would like to have it. It would make my life a lot easier if I could actually go to my app and track what models I have. Even if you have duplicates, I've collected so many things over the years that I've definitely bought more than one of stuff. So if my friend says, man, I really need this model for my army. Oh, hold on. Oh, I've got 3 of them somehow. I'll get you one, take one away, you know, that kind of thing. It's kind of just wishful thinking for that one. Okay, on to the section, which is obviously the hardest to talk about, which is cost. Should these apps be free or should they be costed? The thing is, I like the idea of it being free. I love that idea. You know, who doesn't? I don't think that's a realistic thing. I don't think we can ask Games Workshop to take away the sales of all the army books and codexes and stuff that they do on a yearly basis to give all the information out free. Obviously, I actually think that it would offset the cost. I think it would more than make up for the lost income in books for money made in extra people getting into other games, I think. But I don't think it should obviously be as expensive. I don't think you should download the app and then be like, oh, you want to know about Goliath? You got to buy the Goliath book for 40 euros on the app, and you've got to buy the Escher book for 40 euros on the... I don't think that should be the way to do it. I think a consistent like payment scheme, like we pay for Warhammer Plus. If you were to tell me, you know, 20 euro a month gets you access to all the digital stuff from Games Workshop, I think that would be an incredible way to go. I mean, I think I would be happy to pay 20 euro a month to get access to all the rules from all the factions and all the gangs that exist across the Games Workshop IP and stuff. I think anyway. But then again, the thing that I think is the problem with the physical books that we currently have is, and one that I struggle with, and I mean I genuinely struggle with, is the idea of the information inside of the books becoming out of date and obsolete so fast. And then we have to wait a long time to get printed books with the information in it. And honestly, if you've been following my journey in Mediocre Hobbies, you will know how much of a fan I am of the old world. Here is currently all the books from the old world, every single supplement and the rule book and all that kind of stuff. And I loved the old world when it first launched. I'm so passionate. I have an entire second channel just for the old world. But as soon as they made that, like, okay, guys, we've listened to your feedback. We've changed a crap ton of the rules out of the rule book. Your rule book is basically half the rules are correct and half the rules are wrong. And the half the rules that are wrong are corrected on the website. And I'm like, so I have to have the rule book in one hand and then the website open on another and try and figure out which lines in this are wrong and which ones are corrected by this as I'm going through a game. No. As soon as that happened, I literally stopped playing the old world. I had no drive to try and figure that out. So that literally hurt me, who is an avid collector who painted thousands and thousands of points of Bretonians when it first came out. I have an entire Cathay army on the shelf, all done. I'm literally obsessed, from going completely obsessed to I couldn't be bothered trying to figure out which rules are current and which rules are, I'll just wait till the next book is out and then I will just play with that. And I think it's a horrible way to be, and I think it's a horrible way to treat people, considering that the rules change happened like 6 months into the new edition of the old world or Warhammer Fantasy. And then they continue to sell the obsolete information book for another year. You know what I mean? Like, imagine selling a book to someone and then it being all wrong. Oh, here's the book. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's 65 euro or whatever. Oh, great. It's really cool. Can't wait to read and learn the rules. Oh no, you can't learn the rules from that book. That book is wrong. All the rules are on the website that are updated. So I'm like, what? What? Changing the rules is fine. Continuing to sell the wrong rules is criminal. It's got to be actually criminal, right? So that would obviously solve that issue. We would never have that issue again. The book would be updated. You'd have all the up-to-date rules in your phone or on your tablet or on your computer screen all the time. When Games Workshop did an update, it would immediately update. They could have, a little tab that you press where the rules that have changed change color on the tablet, so you can be scrolling through like, oh, they changed how moving into cover works. Cool, let me just check how that, you know what I mean? I think it's just, yeah, I get really frustrated with having so many books and having those books rules be like, they've just done an update for 11th edition already, right? So does that mean that there's loads of the 11th edition rule book that is wrong? I've had it for 3 weeks and you're telling me it's wrong already? Like, what? and you're going to be printing these books without changing the wrong information inside of it now for 3 years. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Starting to veer off that really positive bit because I went into that really dark bit that really bothers me. And I'm sorry for doing that, guys. So let's try and keep the comments about that positive if we can. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on it. Okay, let's go for the final thoughts and feelings on this little discussion. So, do I think that moving to digital overall is a positive? And that's coming from someone who collects all of the books. And I think the answer is yes. I genuinely would be happy if Games Workshop turned around tomorrow and said, we're moving digital, all digital moving forward. All the apps, all the codexes, all the rule books, all that kind of stuff is just going to be digital information, except for campaign books with just extra lore and stuff like that. I think they can stay as cool, collectible, physical books, and everything else is going to go digital. Like I said, I think this would make playing the game a lot easier and exploring all the different games that Games Workshop sell a lot easier for you and your friend group and your local community. And I think we could see more games more often. Having said that, walking into a Games Workshop and seeing no army books or rule book on the shelves would probably make me pretty sad. That would probably be another little chink of my childhood gone from the good old days of red-walled Games Workshops. Like, I think it's a price I would pay. Is it a price you would pay? How many people out there buy codexes and actually read the lore on the front? And how many people out there buy the rulebook or codexes and go straight to the information to play the game and never look at all of the kind of cool information at the start? So something that I would love to know as well. I have a feeling that more people out there than I'd like to admit skip all that section and just go straight into the bits that they consider important. Okay guys, so please do let me know in the comments below what you think of my rant/chat. Do you agree with my thoughts on physical versus digital media? What would you like to see change? What would you like to see change or continue to stay the same? And has the new 40K app with its kind of assisted gaming section helped you at all since the launch of 11th edition? Let me know as much as you possibly can in the comments below, and we'll get this conversation going. Thank you guys, as always, for sticking around at the end of my rants. I'll see you in the next video.